Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. I want to start off by saying sorry that I haven't been doing these analysis videos lately. My life has been pretty busy and also my editing is so annoying. Because when I go to edit these videos on Camtasia, these green screens keep on showing up. So it's really annoying. But anyways, I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to do these predictions, hopefully more often. And let's get into the video. So today we're going to be doing a prediction on the Senate for 2026. So as you've seen, I have gone ahead and filled out the safe Republican and safe Democrat states. Now the Democrats start out with 40 and the Republicans with 46. And the states that have not been colored out are the ones we are going to be focusing on today. So the first state we're going to look at is the state of Alaska. Now, Alaska usually would not be that competitive of a state. If we look at how it voted in 2024, it went for Trump by 13 points. Now, Dan Sullivan, who is the incumbent from Alaska, will be running for re-election. And the reason why I think this could be competitive is it looks like Mary Peltola might run. Now, Mary Peltola was actually a Democrat representative from Alaska. Yes, Democrat. Now, Alaska, if we look at this state, it has been a pretty Republican state ever since its founding. Like, you look at 1972, Nixon won it by 23 points. Then in 1976, Ford won it by 22 points, but as time went on, it became more Democrat. If you look at 2012, it went for Romney by 14 points, and then in 2020, it only went for Trump by 10.1%. Now in 2024, it did bounce up for Trump by 13.1%, but you see what I'm saying. It's a state that is trending more Democrat. And Mary Peltola, if we go over to the House, we see that in 2022, she won Alaska by 9.9%, even though it is a more Republican state. Now, yes, in 2024, she did lose, but only by 2%. So that's about a 10-point split from the presidential level. So there are speculations that Mary Peltola might run. And so if she does run, I think she'll make it more competitive, but I don't believe she would win it. So that's the reason I'm going to put it in the lean category as of right now. The next state we have in this list is New Mexico. Now, New Mexico is a pretty Democrat state. Looking back at history, we see that it went for Obama by 10 points in 2016. It went for Clinton by 8.2%, and then Harris won it by 6%. And a big reason why this state is trending more Republican is because of the Hispanic population trending to the right in New Mexico. Now, looking at the Senate election history, if we look back at 2020, we see that Lujan won this by 6.1%, which is a pretty low margin. Lujan is not the most popular Democrat. Right now, on the Republican side, no one is running right now. So Republicans really need to get someone to run there. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in the likely margin. The next state that we have is the state of Texas. Now, Texas is a really complicated state because there's a lot of X factors going on. Now, if we look at the people on the Republican side running, we have John Cornyn and Ken Paxton. Now, John Cornyn is seen as a more establishment candidate in this race, and Ken Paxton is running as the more MAGA or more Republican candidate in this race. And so it is going to be a contested Republican primary. If we look at the polls, we see that Ken Paxton has a narrow lead, but that's narrow. And so, this is going to be very contested. It's basically establishment versus MAGA, who's going to win. And if we look on the Democrat side, we see that Colin Allred, who ran for Senate in 2024, is going to be running again, and also possibly Beto O'Rourke. Now, Beto O'Rourke made the Senate election in 2018 really close. He only lost by 2%. But if you look at Texas, Texas has been trending more Republican, which is actually surprising because in 2020 went for Trump by only 5.6%, but then 4 years later, it went for Trump by 13.7%. And a big reason why Trump did so much better in Texas is because of the Rio Grande Valley. So I'm going to show you these counties right here. You see the difference? These deep blue counties going Republican. If you want to even go back one more presidential election, you see that all of this is blue. And these are Hispanic majority counties that are trending more Republican. And so because Democrats have bled so much with Hispanics in the Rio Grande Valley, I'm going to give this by a likely margin to the Republicans, whether that's John Cornyn or Ken Paxton. The next one that we have is Iowa. Now, Joni Ernst, who is the incumbent in Iowa, has decided not to run for re-election. Ashley Hinson is seen as the front runner in this race. She is a representative from the 2nd Congressional District. And there, she's going to be going up against a Democrat. We don't know who that Democrat is going to be. We have like state senators, state representatives. If we look at the 2024 election in Iowa, Donald Trump did pretty well, winning it by 13.2%. You know, I hear a lot of people saying Iowa's going to go blue or that's going to happen. I really don't believe that's going to happen. Trump has really just made Iowa a pretty safe state for Republicans nowadays. And so I'm going to put this in the likely margin for right now. And we have Minnesota. I'm not really going to go that deep into this state. It's just a Democrat state. Royce White, who is a former NBA player, is going to be running again. He didn't do that well in 2024, and I'm pretty sure Penny Flanagan is the Democrat candidate. I'm not going to go that deep into this. It's the Democrat state. I'm going to give it to the Democrats by a likely margin. Now, we have the state of Florida, which, as you guys remember, used to be a pretty competitive state. In 2016, it only went for Trump by 1.2%. And then over the course of just 8 years, it went to being a Trump plus 13 state. Republicans have been gaining massively in voter registration. I do think it's going to be more competitive than 2024 because I think a lot of Democrats are going to be fired up to vote. And so I'm going to put it as a likely margin. I would usually put it as a safe margin, but that's the characterization I have it right now for Florida. The next state that we have is the state of Georgia. And Georgia is going to be a very good race to watch, a very key race to watch. Now, the incumbent, Jon Ossoff, has been fundraising like crazy. He's already raised like $42 million and has $15 million cash on hand. And the reason why he has so much money is because Democrats know this is a pivotal race to hold. Now, on the Republican side, it's really jangled up. We have Mike Collins running, Eddie Carter running, and then you also have Derek Dooley running, who was an American football coach, and is actually endorsed by Brian Kemp. So we're going to have to see who Trump endorses in this race. I don't believe that Republicans are going to win. I think they would have had a shot if Brian Kemp ran. But since he decided not to run, I think Jon Ossoff is going to win by a lean margin. The next state that we have is the state of North Carolina, and this is a really important race to watch. Now, North Carolina has been a competitive state for a long time now. It's only went to Trump by 3.2%. But the reason why this is going to be so competitive is who is running on the Democrat side. And the candidate that's running is Roy Cooper, who was the governor of North Carolina. Now, Roy Cooper won in 2020 by 4.5%, even though Trump won the state. And he's a pretty popular governor. Let's go to the Republican side. Michael Whatley is going to be running. He was a former RNC chair. Now, the thing about Michael Whatley is he's a master fundraiser. And so he's going to have a lot of money to picture himself in the media. Roy Cooper, since he has had a lot of campaigns before, has already really shown who he is to the North Carolina public, but Michael Whatley is going to be able to, picture him through ads. So for that reason, I think it's going to be really close. A lot of people are going to say that Roy Cooper is going to win. It's not even a race. I tend to disagree with that opinion, so I'm going to put it in the tilt Democrat column as of right now, but that definitely could change. Let's go to Virginia. Now, Virginia, I'm putting in the likely column. Mark Warner is the incumbent, and Virginia has been trending to the right in recent years and actually also has a Republican governor. I don't think that's going to last very long, especially with Winsome Sears running for the governor election. We're going to see how all of that turns out. But for right now, I'm going to put that in the likely margin. Then we have Ohio. Now, the thing that makes Ohio pretty competitive is Sherrod Brown is running. If you guys are familiar with Sherrod Brown actually ran for Senate in 2024, and until 2024 he was the Democrat senator from Ohio, but he did get ousted by Bernie Moreno by 4 points, and he's gonna try to go at it again, but it's not looking that too promising for him. He's down by 6 points and down by 3 points, and usually this early on, popular Democrat would be up if he was going to end up winning. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in the lean Republican column. Let's get another state out of the way, New Jersey, which is actually my home state. I'm going to put it in the likely Dem category. I would love if the state would become more Republican, but on the Senate level, it hasn't really too much. So I'm going to put this in the likely column. Now let's go to Michigan. Now on the Democrat side, really a jungled primary. If you look at the polls, you have Haley Stevens up only by a little against Abdul Al-Sayed, Mallory McMorrow in the bunch. And if you look at the endorsements, Haley Stevens has the endorsements of prominent Democrat figures like Nancy Pelosi. Mallory McMorrow has a lot of endorsements from state senators and state representatives. And then Abdul Al-Sayed has the endorsement of Bernie Sanders. It's going to be a very contested primary on the Democrat side. If you look on the Republican side, though, Mike Rogers, who was a 2024 candidate for Michigan Senate, who only lost by, I'm pretty sure, less than a percentage point, is going to be running and is really the top contender. A lot of prominent Republicans in the state have turned this down. And Michigan, has become more of a Republican state. If you look at how it voted in 2024 on the presidential level, it went for Trump by 1.4%. And in 2008, it was a plus 16-point state for Obama. And so because of that, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments for this, but I do think this is going to be a sleeper flip for the Republicans. I could definitely see it going either way, but because of the primary being so contested on the Democrat side, I'm going to put this as a sleeper flip for the Republicans. Then we have New Hampshire. I'm going to put this in the likely column. Chris Pappas is running for Senate, and the most likely Republican candidate is Scott Brown, who ran for Senate in 2014, actually came close to flipping the seat, but I do still think Chris Pappas is going to win. And then we have Maine, which is, I would say, the most toss-up race in 2026. If we look at Maine, we see that Susan Collins is going to be running for re-election, most likely. She hasn't announced it yet, but she's raised a good amount of money, has a lot of cash on hand. And then on the Democrat side, you have Graham Plattner, who many see as a Mamdani of Maine, and then you have like Ryan Fechdau, who might run. So we're really going to have to see how this primary turns out. If you have more of Mamdani person run, I could definitely see Susan Collins winning by a comfortable margin. But if you have a more moderate candidate run, then I could see maybe it getting closer or even a Democrat winning. I think that Maine is definitely a state that doesn't go off of party. I think it goes off of policies. And Susan Collins has a lot of centrist policies. And, for that reason, I'm going to put it as a tilt Republican state that definitely could change depending on how things shake out. But for right now, I'm going to have this as a tilt Republican state. So this is my prediction as of right now. As of September, Republicans would win 53 seats to Democrats 47. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button down below and subscribe. Of course, big thanks to my member Diana Barbie for helping support the channel. And if you would like to become a member, you can join near my channel logo. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.